whether you're a doctor, policeman, soldier, fighting for peace in the world, want to save people from starvation, or you're in an eco-organisation, remember the Venus Project incorporates everyone and everything. If you still think that it is an unrealistic system, then think about where you get your ideas from. You extract your ideas from the culture in which you live. Examine it first. If you are still unable to find reason for such a project and you think it's unachievable, then use this perspective when answering this question. What do you find so impossible, especially now with present technology? Maybe you are in love and want to spend your whole life with that person. Maybe you have your ideas and don't want to give up on them. Nothing stops you from being the same in the proposed system. The Venus Project is trying to use technology and scientific discoveries for the benefit of every human being without artificial barriers. In the worst case, your values will be changed to improve yourself, but that will be through your own decision. Maybe you want to help this approach by informing people about it, but do not forget that this information should represent the tools you give to them. So try to provide information that can be used as a tool in their evolution towards this approach. It is not enough to simply present the Venus Project, it's important to show how they could get involved to help install such a project. Try to make people want solutions, and then present the Venus Project. Point to the current problems. Remember that the Venus Project and the Zeitgeist movement are just groups required in the monetary system to spread information. It's something artificial, do not forget that. Being associated with them does not represent any dissociation with any other group of individuals. If you associate the Venus Project and the Zeitgeist movement with any conspiracy theory, or something different from what they represent, then you should analyse where this association originated.
If only we could all just find serenity. It would be nice if we could live as one. When will all this anger, hate, and bigotry be gone? I'm just a dreamer. I dream my life away to today. I'm just a dreamer who dreams of better days. Okay, I'm just a dreamer who's searching for the way. Today, I'm just a dreamer, dreaming my life away. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe you've been a teacher all your life. Maybe you've made a purpose from art. Maybe you're dancing and dance represents your life. Maybe you have a family and that's everything for you. Maybe you're proud of your school diploma. Maybe you are an athlete or actor. Or you are happy with the job you have now. It doesn't matter who you are. If you refuse to talk about these values which are important to you, it means that they have no basis in reality. Why are you afraid to talk about it? Why feel indignant when other people bring those topics into discussion? These discussions can improve your life. You have no reason to stay away from those discussions that analyze the values which create you if you have an explanation for them. It's not too late to ask yourself about your values. Try to analyze them, and if you realize that they are false, you can only be glad that your horizon has been expanded. If you reach the conclusion that the values you've built your life around are false, it's better to find out now rather than later. Why postpone it? It's like you smoked all your life and you're refusing to have medical tests just because you're afraid of the results. But remember, if you have lung cancer, analysis will only confirm the results. The cancer exists regardless. However, taking the tests will give you a chance to improve your life. Do not build your life around a single idea. The probability for it to be false is extremely high because of the present system, and if it proves false, you will not be able to understand. Be a generalist. Try to be flexible in thinking. It's the most important decision you can take, but also the hardest one. Remember, if you hold on to your ideas, you can be the most brilliant today, but not tomorrow. Information is expanding rapidly and you cannot keep up unless you have flexible ideas. Of every word you use. Language is old and interpretable. People will understand what you want to say from their point of view. Analyze their point of view. Examine what you mean. Try not to use words whose true significance you don't know. Try not to give answers, but rather explanations. Instead of saying that September 11 attacks were a setup, you can present evidence that leads to such a conclusion. Do not try to convey important messages through music and poetry. Or try, but remember that many have tried this on a much larger scale and failed. Remember that movies are a form of entertainment, nothing more, and are created, most likely, by those who are best trained by the monetary system, and thus the values shown in movies are extracted from there. Get rid of artificial values. Think of it this way. If you build your life around them, you will have a synthetic life, and this is the most foolish thing you can do. Remember that you are created by the environment, and if you're constantly learning from movies or silly shows, you will represent them. If you associate with stupid people, you become the same. If you think you have nothing to say, or search for examples without success, then think of the universe or existence as we know so far. Do you agree now with your life? With your way of living in comparison to what constitutes a human being? If you really realise that your situation can be greatly improved, you will react, otherwise you will always ask the question, and what do I do now? If you're a scientist and you have not analysed your own environment, then make me understand what is a scientist. If you try to repair the current system, do not forget that it is the source of the problems. It's like you realise that the 10 Commandments are insufficient or ineffective and try to add others or modify existing ones, instead of analysing religion. Try not to transpose your own values in everything you observe. Birds do not sing. Bears do not rise up to appear larger. And the planet Earth does not suffer because of us. Personifications, epithets, and metaphors relate to emotional behaviour and are not progressive. Try to see what actually happens. Remember this picture when you make a decision. It's the most distant picture of planet Earth. That little blue dot is the planet we live on. All wars have happened here. There were hundreds of leaders, tyrants, racism, conflicts of ideas, criminals who have killed hundreds of people. On this blue dot, millions of types of life emerged. There were so-called geniuses, grandparents, parents. Here you love, you have suffered. Sometimes you feel that you choke to death from so many problems. Or you feel fulfilled. Great leaders, strong men, philosophers, so-called secret groups that want to enslave the population. All here. Think about this little blue dot. Who cares of all this? And who are we to have so many ideas and be so sure about them? Rethink your values from here to see if they have any importance.
We decided to cover this song because it's 1999. If John Lennon, I'm pretty sure that if John Lennon was here right now, he'd be singing this about 20 times a week or so, just to get all of us fuckers in the world hip to love and hip to peace. For the new millennium, it's time to change it, baby. I just know possessions I wonder if we can. I hope
associate science, technology, discoveries with a grey world without colour, then explain why you view things that way. The world is a complex one, with many alternatives and verifiable ideas, a world from which you can extract more meanings that will help you to progress and be comfortable. We shouldn't be focused on goals or purpose, they can mislead you. You don't enjoy music because of the finale at the end, you enjoy the entire piece of music. Life should be viewed similarly. We should enjoy and celebrate life at all stages, rather than fixating on goals and purpose. Now imagine a world in which these artificial values would disappear. Nobody would have opinions, instead they seek answers. So many people that you identify with because you are able to discuss any idea and everyone recognises that we are all part of the same species. Imagine hundreds of thousands of people working together to combat aging, with no technological limitations. Imagine millions of people who work for the progress of human beings and solve problems. People who invent, discover, and improve. Imagine you have access to goods and services without anything in return, and have time to do what you want. Travelling around the world, to meet new people, to discuss the universe, life, or about whatever you want, and to have access to real information. To have the opportunity to invent, discover and improve on your own. Imagine we are almost 7 billion people and you have the opportunity to meet most of them. Imagine you have access to any object or service you need. You will use these tools to progress your life and understand their true value. Imagine that food is as abundant as air. It is no longer a problem now, but nothing stops you to invent new types of food or enjoy it. Imagine you wake up today, you get into the monorail and go anywhere in the world, alone, just to meet other people. No food or comfort care, because they are found everywhere, everything is freely available. Imagine a world of scientists, but not like the present ones who are representing interest groups or specialise in certain areas, but general scientists that will discover constantly. Imagine how fast we'll progress. Imagine not ever feeling alone because your family is not limited to a genetic order. It's an entire species. Your species has 7 billion individuals. Your family is massive. Imagine that you aren't trapped by the sense of ownership. You are free from that point of view. No need to worry about thieves because they cannot steal anything from you. No need to worry about your house because you can change it whenever you want. Imagine a world without a particular schedule. It doesn't matter what day it is, how old you are, or if it's day or night. Everything is continuous. Imagine people who, instead of competing with each other, work together to solve problems. A world where information, goods and services are abundant and everything is the best quality possible. A world with free access. Imagine our species working together for the benefit of everyone. We, human beings, discovering together. Imagine such a world, which is, in fact, a real one. For the first time, we can be human beings. We can extract meanings from verifiable data and behave accordingly.
We're all just trying to make the next day a bit better. Peace in your mind, peace on earth, peace in the world, peace at home, peace in the world. implies no violence, no starving children, no violent minds, no violent households, no violence, no frustration, no fear.
Every one of us begins life with an open mind, a driving curiosity, a sense of wonder.
I thought it might be fun if we now had some questions.
Why is the Earth round? Why isn't it square or any other shape?
That's a good question. I like that question. That's a question I've asked myself. And the answer has to do with gravity. The Earth has a strong gravity. If you were to make a mountain very high, higher than Everest, you know, it's the biggest mountain on the Earth, it would be crushed by its own weight. You see, gravity pulls everything towards the center. So any really big bump on the Earth is crushed. But if you had a small object, a tiny world, the gravity is very low, and then it can be very different from a sphere. I think I have here a world that isn't a sphere. Here. Look at this one. See? It's lumpy. It's a lumpy world. Looks like a potato, right? There's a large potato orbiting the planet Mars. This is one of the moons of Mars. And that's a perfect example of it. You can have big departures from a sphere if your gravity is low. Now, a question in the front. Okay.
Is the sun considered part of the Milky Way galaxy?
Sure. You're considered part of the Milky Way galaxy. Everything except other galaxies is part of the Milky Way galaxy. The sun is one star. There's a few 100 billion stars in the Milky Way. And around each star, maybe, there's a whole bunch of planets. And on one of those planets is life. And one of the life forms on that planet is you. We are, each of us, largely responsible for what gets put into our brains, for what, as adults, we wind up caring for and knowing about. No longer at the mercy of the reptile brain, we can change ourselves.
Our brains have extraordinary capacity. Extraordinary. Not ordinary, but beyond all ordinary things. When one observes all the technological world, what they have done and what they are doing and what they are going to do, tremendous advancement.
What we are concerned with is the understanding of the whole process of life, with all its complexity, with its aggressions and miseries, with its sorrows and confusions and agonies. And to understand this vast field of life, which is a constant movement, one must not only hear the words, but also go beyond the words. Because words, the explanations, are not the facts. But most of us are caught in words, and that act of listening is really a miracle. Perhaps it's the greatest miracle. When one can listen totally, without any defense, without any barrier, neither agreeing nor disagreeing, which doesn't mean the mind is open. On the contrary, the mind is extraordinarily alert there. What significance is hope and faith to living? I hope you won't think me harsh if I say there is no significance at all. We've had hope. We've had faith. Faith in church, faith in politics, faith in leaders, faith in gurus. Because we've wanted to achieve a state of bliss, of happiness and so on. And hope has nourished this faith. And when one observes through history, through our life, all that hope and faith have no meaning at all. Because what is important is what we are. Actually what we are. Not what we think we are. Or what we think we should be. But actually what is. If we know how to look at what is, that will bring about a tremendous transformation. We were saying how very important it is to bring about in the human mind a radical revolution. The crisis, and there are always crises in the world, especially now, it seems to me, is a crisis in consciousness. A crisis that cannot anymore accept the old norms, the old patterns, the ancient traditions, a particular way of life, whether it is the American way or the European way or the Asiatic way. What is the problem? Hunger. Hunger, lack of clothes, shelter, all that. Now, how is it going to be solved? Not by a particular nation. As you and I can't solve this, if we went India we couldn't solve it. No, sovereign government is going to solve this. No Indian government is going to solve it. They can pretend, and they do. So, what is preventing the solution of this problem is nationalism. My flag, my country, your country. And the division that takes place geographically, which is exploited by the politician. That is the factor, one of the major factors of preventing the solution of starvation, of feeding the people. Now, science has means of giving food, clothes and shelter practically to everybody. It's not being done because of you are a British, I'm an Indian or Russian. So it's a world problem, not individual or nationalistic problem. Now, if every human being, educated, cultured, who is really serious, wants to solve this problem, he will do something. What we are trying during all these discussions and talks here is to see if we cannot radically bring about a transformation of the mind. Not accept things as they are. Nor revolt against it. Revolt doesn't answer everything. But to understand it, to go into it, to examine it, give your heart and your mind with everything that you have to find out, a way of living differently. But that depends on you and not somebody else. Because in this there is no teacher, no pupil. There is no leader. There is no guru. There is no master, no savior. You yourself are the teacher and the pupil, you are the master, you are the guru, you are the leader, you are everything.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love.
Imagine all the people living for today.
Imagine we could all get along. Won't be long till that day comes. Mother, stop cooking, take off your aprons. Father, stop looking at every sports station. Take a second and think of every poor nation making weapons. They can't afford a plate, no proper health care. Over here, Section 8, a lot on welfare. Yo, the wealthy laugh, the market crash, economy's bad. How do we change it? News flash about a powder that's dangerous. How do we escape these brainless acts of terror? I tell you how, if Jesus ever comes or not, we better put our hearts in the right place. Humans of all colors will stand up as one race. I promise you one day, imagine that.
And the world will live as one.
I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.